welcome to the HeartWorking Dad podcast. I am your host, Gabriel Perez, and this is the podcast for Christian fathers looking to do the hard work of HeartWork. And this podcast has episodes every Tuesday and Friday. I keep it short so that you can just listen, find a challenge and an encouragement, and go on with your day. And the goal is to provide a foundation for spiritual and practical leadership for your family. Now, this is the first time we're meeting. I'm your host, Gabriel Perez, obviously. I've been with my wife for 19 years. We have 3 kids, 11-year-old, 8-year-old, and a 7-year-old. My wife and I both work full-time jobs, and we partner together in homeschooling our kids. In addition to that, I am a certified biblical parenting coach at the National Center for Biblical Parenting Association. You know, I always say that, and it's funny because I guess the idea may be that I coach dads and parents of this biblical parenting method. The real reason I got certified, and this is just really a fun fact, has nothing to do with the episode, is that because I struggled as a father and my kids were crazy and I needed help. So I didn't do this so I could become a coach. I didn't do this so I could help other people. I did it selfishly because I needed help. I needed to get my kids some structure under control because as a homeschooling dad, I was struggling. My wife was struggling. And this course, or this certification, this method was really beneficial to that and helped us and just refocused a lot of things. So I don't know why I said all that to say it, but I did. Anyways, on to this week's episode. In this episode, I want to talk about Proverbs 4:23. I feel like this is the scripture for the HeartWorking Dad podcast because here we focus on heart work. Our heart is our central belief system. It's where we come to believe everything. It's how we feel it. Like logic, I heard this said on a podcast, Jonathan David Hessler, because he's got this ministry called 18 Inches. And it's literally the distance from your head to your heart. And I love that because when that distance between our head and our heart is the difference between knowing God and believing God. It's a whole journey when you believe, when you have faith. You can have the idea of God. You can know about it. You can read all the Bible, but when it penetrates your heart, that's when it makes a difference. That's when it becomes your core belief. That's when it becomes foundational because it's in your heart. It is your belief. So I love that. 18 inches from your head to your heart. So Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Guard your heart above all else because it determines the course of your life. Guard your heart above all else because it determines the course of your life. Saying that differently, saying that with emboldening different words, it really emphasizes the importance of guarding your heart. It determines the course of your life. Out of it flows everything. It determines what you're going to do. And as fathers, as husbands, we need to be so diligent in guarding our hearts in this world. It is tough to navigate what's going on. It's tough to navigate the world around us. And we have to have, guardrails. We have to have protection. One of the things I really had to realize in this podcast and social media was that I need to put guardrails. That's something that really came to me was guardrails. And so much of what I've done it's taken up a lot of time and it's taken up a lot of energy, a lot of my resources because I am posting content, creating content. I'm connecting with other dads, doing some coaching. And it was really starting to wear me out. And I came back from a Becoming a King retreat not too long ago, and one of the things I left with was having guardrails. How am I protecting my heart? How am I protecting myself so that I can show up for others? And a good way that was spoken to me was saying no to say yes. I have to say no to how much time I spend on social media. And to be honest, it wasn't like I just keep scrolling. Sometimes I do get caught in that trap. It's like creating content. It's what am I going to do next to create this next form, or what's going on here? Stuff that honestly I just don't need to be doing. Checking, oh, is this post doing good? Checking my analytics. What do I need to do better? Stuff that was just taking up time where I don't need. I just need to let go. Let it go and put up guardrails. So some of the things I've actually put in since coming back is I schedule all my posts. So I don't really have to go on to my social media really too often. I schedule all my posts. I go on, I publish it, and then I let it go. I walk away. So I don't have this idea of like, oh, I need to go on to do this. I need to do this. Like, it's already done. Guardrails. I set aside only a certain amount of time that I'm going to put into this ministry. I'm saying no to coaching right now because I need to protect my time. And what is my priority? It's my family. It's the ministry that God's given to me. It's the most important ministry. Right now, this world needs you to focus on your family. Right now, God needs you to focus on your marriage. Focus on the care of your own heart. Because we can get so caught up in doing this, and they're not bad things. Coaching dads is not a bad thing. Serving at your church is not a bad thing. But is it taking over your ability to care for your family? Is it taking over your ability to care for yourself? Are you burning yourself out? So guardrails for guarding your heart. It's been huge. So here are some things that I've had to say no to so I can say yes to my family, yes to God in different areas. I was serving at my church in video ministry. It was once every 2 to 3 weeks. But it was just when I was doing it, it was hard because the homeschool gets rushed. The care of the time with my family gets rushed because when I get back, it's kind of bedtime. I'm spent at that time. I don't really have a lot to give. And so serving the church is a great thing. I don't want to ever discourage anyone from serving where they feel called. But me personally, I feel called to say no so I can say yes to my family. So I can show up during homeschool and not be rushed, not be overwhelmed because I got to get this done. Then we got to make dinner and then we got to go on the next thing. It's saying no so I can say yes, so I can just spend time with my kids without having to do something. As a homeschooling family, we're busy. We work full-time jobs, so it's just, I told my wife, I'm overwhelmed, man. I'm tired. I don't even know. And I actually have a call that I do with some men. We've gone through a lot of different books. It's been years, but I was overwhelmed. I was feeling it, and I had to just say, you know what? I can't do that call tonight because I'm guarding my heart, protecting it. I heard this said that Satan can get us busy doing the right things, but for the wrong reasons. And we can just get caught up because it's a good thing. It's not bad that I meet with other Christian men and we go over this book about practicing the presence of God. It's not bad that I serve the church and do video ministry. It's not bad that I'm coaching dads and working with them and trying to put a message out to help fathers. Those aren't bad things, but they become bad when it overshadows what God originally has placed on my heart. And that's my family. That is my first ministry. God has given you a ministry, men. And we have to be protective of that. We have to be diligent in putting guardrails around that ministry of our family so that we don't get complacent. We don't lose sight of it. Because quite honestly, the days are long, but the years are short. Your time with your family, with them in your home, it's gonna go away quick. And I know as dads, like, we're in the thick of it and it doesn't feel that way. But when I look back at pictures, when I look back at memories, I'm like, man, my son's pretty old right now. My daughter was super young right then. My little kid, look at, he was just being born. And now he's 3 years old. Now I got an 11-year-old. It goes by fast. It can go by at the blink of an eye. So don't forsake your family for just busyness. Allow guardrails. Protect your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. It determines the course of all things. If your marriage is struggling, maybe we weren't putting guardrails to protect our heart, to be invested in our marriage. We allow ourselves to drift. If your kids are distant from you and they're not connecting with you, maybe it's because we didn't put guardrails and all the other things that we were doing, and we neglected to spend time and build the relationship and connection with them. So my challenge is to ask yourself, where can I say no so I can say yes to my family? Could be in your job. I've had to put guardrails on how I approach my job because I have a job that I'm salary. So at any time, I'm kind of reachable. At any time, they can call me. Weekends, I need to put guardrails and say, no, I'm cutting it off at this time, and I'm starting at this time. Protecting myself, not feeling that weight. So you got to ask yourself, where can you place guardrails? And the encouragement is that we have today. The story was shared about a father said, I noticed that a lot of us will have one step in the past, one foot in the past, and one foot in the future. He was like, I don't want to live that anyway because you're bow-legged and you're pissing on the present. And guys, that's what you have. You have the present moment. You have today. You have now. So put up the guardrails so you can protect your present moment with your kids. Put up the guardrails so you can be there for your family. Put up the guardrails so you can talk with your wife and connect with her. Put up the guardrails so you can have time with God and allow him to guide you and lead you. So I think I've really nailed that point home. I hope you find encouragement. I hope this just helps you to be present with your family. They're the thing that matters most. When you look back on your life, you're not going to have a regret about, I wish I worked harder. I wish I spent more time at my job. I wish I did this or that. You're going to say, I wish I spent more time with my kids and realized that I was probably living in the best days of my life. I'm guilty of that. I can easily be caught up in that future or in struggles with my past, and I miss the present. So guard your heart above all else, where it determines the course of your life. Keep doing the hard work of HeartWork, and I'll talk soon on the next episode.